Who said dating was just for the young? If you are in your 60s and wondering if love, romance, or even a little fun is still on the table, let me tell you something. It absolutely is. In fact, dating at this stage of life might just be better than ever. There are no more games and no more pressure, just real connections with people who know what they want. But let's be honest, the dating world has changed. Swiping, ghosting, and online profiles can feel overwhelming. That is why today we are going to break it all down. From finding the right match to avoiding common pitfalls, this is your guide to navigating dating in your 60s with confidence, humor, and maybe even a little mischief. Welcome to AgeWise. Let's get started. Why dating in your 60s is better than you think. Let's get one thing straight. Dating in your 60s is nothing like dating in your 20s or 30s, and that is a good thing. Back then, relationships came with a lot of expectations. Finding someone to build a life with, worrying about careers, raising kids, and trying to impress everyone along the way. But now, the rules have changed. At this stage in life, you are not looking for someone to complete you. You are already complete. There is no rush to settle down, no pressure to make things work just because time is ticking, and absolutely no need to deal with anyone's nonsense. This is dating on your own terms. Psychologists say that relationships later in life tend to be more fulfilling because people know themselves better. There is less pretending, less worrying about what others think, and more focus on what actually makes you happy. Instead of chasing after someone, you get to choose who actually adds value to your life. That is a power shift most people do not appreciate until they experience it. Another major advantage is emotional maturity. By now, you have been through enough to know what matters and what does not. You are not going to lose sleep over a late text or waste energy decoding mixed signals. You are here for real conversations, real connections, and if someone is playing games, you have no problem moving on. The dating world may look different now, but that does not mean it is any less exciting. If anything, it is more fun because you are in control. Whether you are looking for a long-term partner, a companion, or just someone to share great moments with, this chapter of your life is yours to write. Now that we have set the record straight, let's talk about where to actually meet people and how to make modern dating work for you. Where to meet people and how to make modern dating work for you. Now that you know dating in your 60s is not only possible but also better in many ways, the next big question is where to actually meet people. The days of meeting someone at a school dance or being introduced by a friend's cousin's neighbor might be behind us, but that does not mean opportunities are limited. In fact, there are more ways than ever to connect with new people, and it all comes down to finding what works for you. One of the biggest shifts in dating is technology. Online dating might sound intimidating, but it has made it easier than ever to meet people who share your interests. Apps and websites designed for mature dating, like Silver Singles and Our Time, are filled with people in the same stage of life, looking for meaningful connections. The key is knowing how to present yourself. A strong profile with a recent photo and a bio that shows your personality will attract the right kind of attention. For those who prefer meeting people in person, social groups and community activities are a great option. Many cities offer meetup groups for hiking, dancing, book clubs, and other hobbies that naturally bring like-minded people together. Taking a class, whether it is cooking, painting, or learning a new language, is another fun way to meet people while doing something you enjoy. Volunteering is another opportunity that people often overlook. Giving back to the community not only feels good but also introduces you to people who share your values and interests. Whether it is working with charities, animal shelters, or local events, you never know who you might meet when you step into new environments. Another option that might surprise you is reconnecting with old acquaintances. With social media and online connections, it is easier than ever to reach out to someone from your past who you always had a good connection with. Sometimes the best relationships come from people you already know but never saw in that way before. No matter where you choose to meet people, the most important thing is to stay open to possibilities. The world of dating has changed, but that does not mean it is out of reach. The key is to put yourself in situations where connections can happen naturally. Once you do, it is time to focus on making the best first impression and creating meaningful connections. That is exactly what we will cover next. How to spot red flags and avoid wasting your time. Now that you are back in the dating world, let's talk about something you absolutely do not have time for. Red flags. The nonsense. The walking midlife crises disguised as romantic prospects. At this stage in life, you have zero reason to tolerate bad behavior, and the best way to save your time and energy is to spot the signs early before you waste a single minute entertaining them. Let's start with the classic too good to be true guy. He is charming, smooth, and says all the right things, but something feels off. Maybe he love bombs you, showering you with compliments and calling you his queen by the second date. Maybe he rushes things, acting like fate has brought you together at the perfect time. Sounds romantic, right? Wrong. Anyone who rushes into deep emotions too fast is either hiding something or looking to manipulate you into letting your guard down. A good man will show interest without making you feel like you are in a Hallmark movie on steroids. Then we have the victim. This one will turn every conversation into a sob story. His ex was evil. His kids do not talk to him for no reason at all. Every job, every friendship, every relationship ended because someone else was unfair to him. Here is the truth. If every single person in his life is the problem, he is the common denominator. Run. Another classic red flag is the vanisher. This is the one who texts you constantly for a week, makes plans, tells you he cannot wait to see you, and then poof, he is gone. No text, no call. Just radio silence. Days or weeks later, he magically reappears with some half-baked excuse about how busy he was or how he lost his phone. Spoiler alert, he did not lose his phone. He just found something else to do and expected you to be waiting when he got bored. You are not a backup plan. Block and move on. Let's not forget the man-child. He is over 60 but somehow still figuring life out. Maybe he has never cooked a meal for himself. Maybe he needs you to remind him to go to the doctor or pay his bills on time. He is looking for a replacement mom, not a partner. You are dating, not adopting. Hard pass. And finally, we have the disrespectful one. The guy who interrupts you, talks over you, or mansplains things you already know. The one who orders for you at dinner without asking or tells you how lucky you are to still be attractive at your age. Let's be very clear. If he does not respect you from the start, he never will. You are here to be valued and appreciated, not to be talked down to. The bottom line is simple. If a man shows you who he is, believe him the first time. Do not waste time making excuses for bad behavior or hoping someone will change. There are too many great people out there to be entertaining someone who does not meet your standards. Now that you know what to avoid, let's talk about what actually makes a great relationship at this stage in life. Because once you have filtered out the nonsense, what you are left with is something truly worth your time. What actually makes a great relationship in your 60s? Now that you know what to avoid, let's talk about what a truly great relationship looks like at this stage in life. Because dating in your 60s is not about settling for anyone who shows interest. It is about finding someone who actually makes your life better, not just someone to pass the time with. The way we define a great partner completely changes with age. You are not looking for someone to raise kids with or build a career with. What matters now is connection, respect, and someone who adds joy to your life instead of making it more complicated. Emotional maturity is one of the most important qualities to look for. If a man cannot communicate like an adult, handle disagreements without throwing a tantrum, or take responsibility for his actions, he is not worth your time. At this stage, a relationship should bring peace, not stress. A great relationship should feel easy, not exhausting. Companionship should also be enjoyable. The right partner should be fun, someone you can laugh with, travel with, and share experiences that actually bring happiness. If every conversation turns into a therapy session or a monologue about his problems, that is not a relationship. That is unpaid emotional labor, and you are not here for that. Independence is another major green flag. The best relationships in your 60s do not involve clinging to each other every second of the day. They are about two whole people who enjoy their own lives but choose to spend time together because they want to, not because they need to. The healthiest relationships respect each other's space. If a man becomes needy, possessive, or expects you to drop everything for him, he is looking for a caretaker, not a partner. Chemistry still matters. Just because you are in your 60s does not mean you should settle for someone who bores you. A great relationship should still have flirtation, excitement, and a little fire. It does not have to look the same as it did in your 20s, but it should still make you feel alive. If the idea of spending time with him does not make you smile, you already have your answer. The most important thing is that you feel valued. The right partner will appreciate who you are, what you have lived through, and what you bring to the table. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. The right person will see it immediately. At this stage in life, dating is not about finding someone to complete you. It is about choosing someone who brings laughter, companionship, and happiness into an already fulfilling life. Now that you know what makes a great relationship, let's talk about navigating the actual dating process without losing your patience. How to navigate the dating process without losing your patience. Dating in your 60s can be exciting, but let's be honest, it can also be exhausting. Between online dating, awkward first dates, and figuring out who is actually worth your time, it is easy to feel like throwing in the towel. But before you do, let's talk about how to make this process as smooth, fun, and frustration-free as possible. First, know what you want before you start. Are you looking for a serious relationship, companionship, or just someone to go out and have a good time with? There is no right or wrong answer, but having clarity will save you from wasting time on people who are not looking for the same thing. Second, set boundaries early and stick to them. You do not owe anyone your time just because they showed interest. If someone is rude, dismissive, or tries to push you into something you are not comfortable with, they are not the one. If a man cannot respect your time and energy before you have even met, it will not get better later. When it comes to online dating, do not let the weird profiles, bad selfies, and suspiciously vague descriptions scare you off. The key is to focus on quality, not quantity. A well-written profile with clear interests and recent photos is a good sign. A profile that says nothing but "just ask" is not worth the effort. And if his first message to you is "hey.run," on first dates, keep it light, fun, and pressure-free. This is not a job interview. It is a chance to see if you enjoy each other's company. Choose a setting where you feel comfortable, whether that is a coffee shop, a casual lunch, or an afternoon walk. If the conversation flows naturally and you leave feeling good, that is a great sign. If you feel like you just sat through an hour of someone listing their entire medical history or talking about their ex, that is your cue to move on. Remember that rejection is not personal. Not every date will turn into something meaningful, and that is perfectly fine. You are not for everyone, and everyone is not for you. If someone does not call back, it does not mean you did anything wrong. It just means they were not the right fit. Keep your energy for the people who genuinely appreciate you. Most importantly, have fun with it. Dating at this stage in life is not about playing games or following outdated rules. It is about enjoying yourself, making connections, and seeing where things go. When you stop looking at dating as a test and start treating it as an adventure, the whole experience becomes a lot more enjoyable. Now that we have covered how to navigate the dating world without losing your patience, let's wrap this up with a final thought on why this stage of life is actually the perfect time to be dating. If there is one thing to take away from this, it is that dating in your 60s is not a second chance. It is an upgrade. You are no longer dating to please anyone, to check off society's expectations, or to settle for whatever comes your way. You are dating because you choose to, on your terms, with a lifetime of wisdom that makes this entire experience better than it ever was before. You have already built your life. Now, if you decide to share it with someone, it is because they genuinely add something good to it, not because you need them to complete it. That is real power. That is the freedom to be picky, confident, and unapologetically yourself. So whether you are just thinking about dipping your toes back into the dating pool or you are already out there meeting new people, remember this. You set the rules. You decide what you will and will not accept. And you have every right to expect fun, respect, and connection from anyone who wants to be part of your life. Now, tell me in the comments, what has been your funniest, weirdest, or most unexpected dating experience in your 60s? And if you are thinking about dating but still unsure, what is holding you back? Let's talk about it. If this video gave you a boost of confidence, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to AgeWise for more real talk, smart advice, and a few good laughs along the way. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.